All right, for those of you that are new here, I am Nancy from Nancy Inspired, and I have a gift that I call soul telepathy, and I call it that because I'm able to hear what your soul is trying to tell you. When I do individual readings, I dive into what your soul is trying to tell you. When I do this, the collective reading, I tap into what's the messaging for the week for all of us. And the first 45-50 minutes is collective reading for everybody, and then the latter half is individual readings. Don't put your name in yet because it'll get lost in the chat. I'll let you know when that's time. And feel free to ask questions, chat with each other, make comments. I love validation. That's always good. All right, so I'm just going to ask to connect to you. So can I, may, and shall I do a reading for my Insight Timer, friends and family, both those that are listening now and those that come on later? Very clear yes. Is there any reason why I shouldn't at this moment in time? Nope, no reason why I shouldn't. Then I ask that everyone's intuition be raised to the highest level that they can accommodate with at this moment in time. Allow their souls to speak freely and clearly for everyone's highest and best good. All right, well, without further ado, let's get started. All right. Okay. So what I got right away was like my windshield in my car right now, for some reason is exceptionally dusty. And the other day while I was driving, the sun was kind of pulling, like it was really bright, just right on the horizon. And with my windshield being dusty, I could barely see anything. And I was shocked. I was like, wow, like I really can't see anything with the sun right on the dust. And that was the image I got. And the feeling I got was that moment of panic that, like, I was literally driving, and as I turned the corner, I was blinded. I couldn't see anything. And I did have this kind of moment of panic. And then I realized, okay, I just need to safely pull over and wipe the inside of my windshield a little bit. I'm not sure why it was so dusty, but I guess the snow's melted and whatever. And so just now what I got was that moment of panic, is because sometimes you can't see things clearly, right? So it's okay to just stop for a moment. You don't need to keep going blindly, right? And I was tempted because I'm lazy, if I'm honest. I was tempted to keep going because I was going to turn again and not be in the sun. And I was tempted to keep going. But then I thought, I'm going to keep getting blinded. I'm going to keep getting blindsided. I'm going to keep getting blinded. And so I did pull over when I could pull over safely. And I did, I used a wet wipe and I wiped the inside of my windshield so that I could see better. So what I'm hearing, the reason why that was given to me is because I had some choices. I noticed my windshield was dirty. I wasn't seeing things clearly. So metaphorical, when you're not seeing things clearly, when you're just not able to see. And that moment of panic where it's like, I don't know what to do in this situation. I don't see all sides. I don't see everything that I need to know. And there's that moment of panic. Well, I could have kept going blindly, probably been okay, but may have caused an accident or been an accident. Or I could stop and sort of take inventory, use what I have, the resources that I have, in order to clear the vision. And so that's what I'm hearing is right now, if there's sort of things that are popping up where you're like, I don't know what to do, I feel blindsided, or I don't have all the information, or I can't see clearly, take the time to stop and do what you need to do to clear the vision. So sometimes it's just stopping, closing your eyes for a minute, taking a moment, some deep breaths, allowing yourself to see the situation clearly. Sometimes, especially in my job when I'm dealing with other people, I try very hard to jump into their shoes. So what are they feeling? What are they experiencing? So rather than me reacting to what's happening, I want to try and see clearly if they're, because for those of you that don't know, I'm also an assistant principal and educator. And one of my parts of my job is dealing with angry parents. And usually when they are coming at me with anger up to here, usually if I use my gift a little bit and I pop into their shoes for a moment and go, okay, what's going on? Most of the time I feel fear. Most of the time I feel fear and anxiety. And if I can figure out what are they feeling fearful or anxious about, then that's going to allow me to to be able to help. So for one, clear yourself in those moments of blindness. What's going on in my body, what's actually happening. I'm hearing that lots of you guys are intuitive and empathic people. Sometimes when we're blindsided by emotion, it's an important question to ask, is this mine? And I'm actually hearing this for quite a few of you, that sometimes when you're blindsided by anxiety and emotion and even a feeling of sadness, a heaviness that's come over, sometimes it's not yours and sometimes it's someone that's close to you. But the way that our brains are wired is to say, oh, I recognize this feeling. I feel heavy and sad. I must be heavy and sad. These are the reasons I'm heavy and sad, as opposed to recognizing the feeling, going, is this mine? No, it's not mine. I'm going to send it to the feet of God. I'm going to send it to the powers that be. I'm going to send it to my guides who know what to do with it. I'm going to send love to whoever this is, but it's not mine. But it's hard to remember to do that in that moment where you're instantly blindsided. And that's the image I got, was when I, turned the corner and instantly I couldn't see anything. There's a moment of panic, right? And it's like, oh no, right? So stop. First question, is it mine? If it's not yours, send it away. If it is yours, what can I do about it in this moment with the resources that I have? And I say with the resources that I have because you might not be able to completely change the situation. You might not be able to, it might just not be in your power. I could completely wash my windshield at that time. I had to use a wet wipe and just make it as best as I could. What can I do at this moment in time? I'm also hearing that there's a number of us here, and I'm going to lump myself into this too, that are worriers. And sometimes we start worrying. For me, my best worry time seems to be at 2 o'clock in the morning when I can't do anything about anything anyway. And so that's the next thing, is can I do anything about this right now? And if there is nothing that you can do at that exact moment, then let it go. And as hard as that is, and I am the queen of that, like I said, at 2 o'clock in the morning, I will start like, oh, I should da 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 da. At that moment in time is not the time to jump up and start changing the world, right? So first question is it even mine? When you get that blindsided, is it even mine? If it's not yours, send it away, okay? If it is yours, what can I do about it at this exact moment in time? Is there anything that I can actually do? And if there is nothing you can do, you let it go until you have the capacity and the resources to be able to deal with it. Then, I'm also hearing that again, you have the choice. You can keep going blindly into the situation, or you can stop and do what you can to fix the situation. So maybe it's having a conversation. Maybe it's asking for clarity. Maybe it's removing yourself from a particular person or situation or event, and asking yourself, what can I actually do at this moment in time? Just like when I was driving, all I had was a wet wipe. I did that and it worked. It worked enough to get me where I was going. Then I remembered to clean my windshield when I got home. No idea why it was so dusty, but it was. So then I just heard, always remember that you always have more resources at your fingertips than we first believe. All right. And yeah, just back to that. If it's not yours, let it go, right? Because it's really easy for us to get consumed sometimes as we're feeling things, as we're experiencing things, and feel like, I often, like I said, in the middle of the night, start, oh, I got to tell this person this, and I have to, check in with this person. I can't do any of that at 2 o'clock in the morning. What I need to be doing is sleeping and resting so that I'm at my full capacity. All right. Anything else on that message? No. I'm just going to check the chat here. Hello, new people that just joined on. Hello, Melinda and Mercedes. Hi, Mercedes. Mercedes is my amazing web designer. I'm not advertising my website because that would be against Insight Timer rules, but Mercedes is a very talented woman and I appreciate her completely. And just a little shout out to friends. Okay, I just heard that's the next message. So I was about to say that there's certain people in your life that are your cheerleaders. And that's what I'm hearing. Find your cheerleaders. Find your cheerleaders. Who are the people that boost you up? There's people that drain you down. There's people that you just have to interact with that, are kind of neutral. And then there's your cheerleaders. There's those people that when you're feeling like you need a boost, they're there to boost you up. And everyone needs those. And I have to say that Mercedes is probably, I'd say Mercedes and my friend Masani are probably my biggest cheerleaders, that when I start to feel and doubt myself, even though I've been doing this for, like 15, almost 20 years. I've been doing this, 15 years. I still doubt myself. Every time I come on to do a live, I think, what if I don't hear anything? What if I don't get a message? It hasn't happened yet, but, I always have that feeling. And there are times when I'm like, oh, no one listens to my whatever, or nobody. And I start to second guess myself. And then Mercedes is right there to say, I believe in you and your work is important. So find your people. Who are your people that tell you that they believe in you and your work is important? I believe in you and your work is important. I know that doesn't mean as much because I actually don't know you, but if you're here, it's because you're on a journey to elevate yourself and elevate everyone else. So just on that premise alone, I can say that I believe in you and that your work is important. All right. So yes, hi Mercedes. Hi Jacqueline. Hi Marika. IT. And thank you for the compliment. This is actually I didn't want to do my hair and it looked kind of silly hairstyle, so I just stick it up. Thank you. Hi Jam. That is my son Jam. All right, let's keep going. What is the next bit of messaging for my Insight Timer friends and family? Okay. So I got a couple images simultaneously. First one was stepping into a really cold, like a stream or a lake or whatever. If you've ever had the pleasure of doing that, those first few toes into the cold water, the ocean, the streams, whatever, are cold. And then as you allow yourself to adjust, it's not so bad. In fact, it can be really refreshing. And in fact, after you actually, get into the water, it's a beautiful environment. So I was like, okay, what's that image? So I love it. I can't wait to do that in the summer. But then the next thing I said is that what I heard is that change is not always a bad thing. So what I'm hearing is that there's a number of us here that are experiencing some transitions, changes. And what I'm hearing is that transitions aren't necessarily big, giant life transitions. That's part of it, new job, relationships, whatever, moving. But every day is what I'm hearing. Every day is a transition. Every day is a change. Every day is an opportunity to make change. And every day you're going to experience change. You're going to have things that are letdowns. Things are going to go in a different direction. Sometimes it's positive, or it's like, oh, I got offered this. And sometimes what I'm hearing is so everything is energy. And as we are putting out energy, saying, I'm open to this, or I'm open to that, or da-da-da-da, then those experiences can come. We don't always know what form they're coming. What I'm hearing is just why it was linked with the image of the feet in the stream is because sometimes if you put your foot into a cold stream or the ocean or whatever, and you're like, ooh, that's cold, and you pull back, then you're not open to that experience, right? Sometimes it is too cold and it's not safe. But if it is, and we right away pull back and say, no, I don't want to go in, it's too cold, right? Then we're limiting ourselves from that experience. So what I'm hearing is, even though the idea of change, the idea of new experiences, the idea of things moving, happening, whatever, might seem uncomfortable at first, if we allow ourselves to be open to new experiences, then energetically, it's like we're putting out a little wavelength saying, I'm open to new experiences. I'm open to something beautiful happening for me today. I'm open to some magic happening for me today. I'm open to some change. I'm open to some guidance. I'm open to the future, to my life, to showing up. Then that allows that energy to go out and allow things to come in. So as we're stepping into that, cold water, for a moment, it might be uncomfortable. For a moment, change and being open to something new and going into that new environment or thing. Sometimes we avoid that. And what I'm hearing is be open to experiences, be open to changes, be open to as things shift and change. So as an added on to that, what I'm hearing is that there are a number of people that are going through various transitions. And again, I'm reminded that transitions are everything from like big, life change transitions to like a small, and I mean, I'm not going to say big and small, but because everything is relative, but like a momentary life change. And if we embrace it with the possibility, so rather than focusing on, the discomfort and the unknown and the, that kind of thing, by opening ourselves up to the possibilities, then we are more aware of the possibilities and we are more capable of connecting with those possibilities. And as we are energetically putting out what it is that we're looking for, so I just I have to qualify that it's not so much what we're looking for, but what we actually need, because sometimes what we're looking for isn't what we need. But when we're energetically aligned with this is what I need, or I am open to receiving what I need, I may not fully understand what it is I need. I may think I need this, but actually I need this. And being open to what I need coming to me, then it allows us to be more open to that experience. And I'm just getting a little bit more on the, what we need versus what we want. So, yeah, I understand. So that idea of I've been working lots. I know I talked about this last time on money manifesting and saying, okay, I want some, financial abundance so that I can, leave education, safely and and whatnot. And then as I started thinking about it, and I thought, what, it's not actually financial abundance I need some opportunities. I need some experiences and those kinds of things. Because if all of a sudden I had financial abundance, I have certain situations that probably kind of suck that away from me pretty quickly, and it wouldn't actually benefit me to receive that. So I realized that it's more about energetically what I need. I need opportunities to connect with more people, to help elevate in a better way. I need opportunities to empower. And so if I'm open to those opportunities, they're going to start showing up. But I do have to say, hey, I'm open to having those opportunities. I'm open to that energetic expression. So I am willing to dip my feet into, the cool water and allow my feet to adjust, and then eventually be able to go swimming. Or not, if I choose not to. All right. Mercedes. Hi, thank you for the kind words. Mercedes, you deserve all the love. And hello, Kate. Hello, Jacqueline. Yeah, me too. Leave education safely. And I'm an elementary school teacher. I don't know where you are an elementary school teacher, but right now where I am, there's a lot of stuff going on that make it very challenging to be a school teacher. So depending on where you are in the world, heart goes out to you. Okay, next bit of messaging. The States and Canada, there's a lot of things like that right now that are very, very challenging. Give me 1 second, please. Is it really important to her?
I accidentally got lipstick on the couch.
Okay, I'll clean it afterwards.
Like the white one.
I'll clean it afterwards. It's okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, let's lipstick on the couch. It's okay. That's been a lesson recently for me, is just like, all right, it's lipstick on the couch. Am I happy about that? Nope. But is it the end of the world? Nope. I can fix it. Yep. Don't sweat the small stuff. That's what they say. All right. Next bit of messaging. So there you go. Aurora just came in to give us a bit of messaging. Don't sweat the small stuff. I know, right? Jacqueline said, I love the honesty. Yeah, she's pretty great about that. Okay. Okay. Okay, so I was given a little series of messages. So the first little bit was like this wall, and it was like brick by brick by brick by brick by brick, this like tall wall, and then and I was hearing the word boundary, so I was like, oh, this is a boundary setting message, which I know is my my journey. And then the wall changed to being like a colander, and the colander allows certain things through and other things are held back. What I'm hearing is that it's important to be setting boundaries. It is important to protect your energy. It is important to protect your physical well-being by setting boundaries, and recognizing when those boundaries need to be, the smaller hole colander that lets less through, or the larger hole colander that lets more through. But what I'm hearing is to be careful that when we're setting boundaries, this is interesting for me, be careful that when we're setting boundaries, we don't block out all the possibility. So sometimes the situations that we need to set boundaries against, or with, I should say, setting boundaries with, require like strong, firm boundaries. However, what I'm hearing is every situation, and this is interesting for me because there's a part of my Nancy skin suit that's like, but what about? And I kind of want to argue it, but I'm just going to let the message come through. What I'm hearing is that, yes, it's important to set boundaries and we need to be strong and firm in our boundaries. However, no situation is absolutely impermeable. No situation is 100% what our perception is. No situation is 100% one way or another way. So we can be in the most toxic situation and there is still an opportunity for love, is what I'm hearing. So our boundaries need to be very firm and very strong, but still allow for the permeability of being able to still give and receive love to those people and those situations. That boundaries, yes, as much as they need to be firm so that we can thrive and survive and be healthy and vibrant, there's always room needed for the love to be shared. Because what I'm hearing is even the most toxic of people, even the most, most of those people are like that because they need love. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to put up with their nonsense and not set boundaries because you're like, oh, they just need to be loved and that's why they're terrible to me. No, it's, I understand you need to be loved and I'm going to send you love, but I'm also going to withhold a boundary. But I'm seeing that sometimes we set up the boundary and it's actually a brick wall where there is no opportunity for any movement of energy back and forth. And so it actually, what I'm hearing is creates a barrier to connection. And not that you want to be connecting with somebody that's toxic or a situation that's toxic, but every situation, and actually now that I'm saying it out loud, when I first was hearing the message, I was like, there's people that need to brick wall boundary. But as I'm hearing the actual messaging, I'm like, okay, I understand and I agree that every situation, if approached from the capacity of love, if every situation is approached from the potential of fostering love, then that is going to elevate. Our whole job is to elevate our consciousness and elevate all of human consciousness. And by allowing for there to be that reciprocity of love, even within those boundary settings, that is going to go further. Because when a person is being toxic, feeling toxic, acting toxic, it's usually because there is a lack of love, whether it's self-love or validation. Usually self-love is what I'm hearing. And so if there's an opportunity to set those boundaries of love and allow for that flow of love, that actually will promote healing both for yourself and for the other person. So yeah, I just got another image, is that if you build this brick wall, you don't know what's on the other side, right? You're only in your own space, which sometimes can be protective for a while. Maybe that's what you need, is to be protected behind that space for a while. But when you're ready, when you're strong, it's important to at least have a window so that you can see what's really happening on the other side, right? And so a colander versus a brick wall when it's boundary setting is what I'm hearing. Yeah, that one kind of hits home for me right now. A colander instead of a brick wall. All right. Cecilia keeps saying Mercedes and sister name when you're gardening. Fun. All right. Let's hear what else I hear. Hopefully that was definitely a relevant message for me. Hopefully it was relevant for all of you too. Okay, let me hear what else. What else do I hear for the group? Thank you. Florista, you were just holding a colander. There you go. Metaphoric right there. I wonder if there's some boundaries that you need to look at. Are you building a wall or is it a colander? I would take that as significant. I take all of those little things as being significant, little serendipitous messages. They're little drops of gold, magic saying, here you go. There's a boundary that you need to be a colander rather than a brick wall. It's like a little exclamation point, right? All right, here we go. What is the next bit of messaging that I hear from my Insight Timer friends and family? Keep putting to God as soon as I jump into it. So what's happening? Okay, interesting. We're tired. And, I'd have to say today, I felt very tired all day. And I've had moments of being tired. And what I just heard is that if you are feeling a little more tired than usual, and you are somebody, as I know that every one of you here are, because you're on this platform, are somebody that's in tune to energy, their own and theirs around them. What I'm hearing is that there is a lot of shift and change. It's full moon. There's all kinds of things going on that sometimes we just need rest and to listen to your body. I am notorious for not listening to my body and I can just get one more thing done. But I am hearing that there is a lot going on, and a lot of us energy workers are feeling the shifts and the changes and the heaviness and the energy and the transformations and the da 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 da. And okay, what I just heard is it's the same as being in a crowded room. So if I ever go out to a crowded place, even if I'm having a great time, when I come home, I am drained and I am tired. Even if I had the best time, I am drained and tired. And it's because energetically, I've been picking up, interacting, been on, what's going on in the energetic field is so much more than we can even pay attention to at any given time. And what I'm hearing is that right now, if you are feeling drained and depleted, like I'm hearing a lot of us are, and it's funny because I just thought it was me today. I'm just feeling tired today, and I don't really know why. I had a good sleep, I've eaten well, I've had some outside time. Like I'm there's no reason for me to be as tired as I am, and I am. And so I thought it was just me, but I'm hearing that right now, if you are feeling abnormally tired, that it's because there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on energetically. There's a lot that we're picking up on that we don't even realize, and that it's important to just rest. I also heard cleansing stuff. So, all right, I just got a clear picture of putting, like I used my pendulum like on a windowsill with moonlight. I know I was taught that years ago to like cleanse your rocks and stuff in the moonlight, but I'm hearing that these cleansing rituals, these cleansing practices, okay, are no different than us showering and cleansing our bodies. That we need to systematically cleanse at different times. Sleeping is a form of cleansing. Going to the bathroom, I'm hearing, is a form of cleansing. Having a shower, cleansing. Brushing our teeth, cleansing. We also need to cleanse energetically. We got to cleanse our house. We got to cleanse ourselves. Cleanse our tools. I'm hearing it's no different than washing the dishes. You know, you eat off something and then you wash it before you eat off it again. But we sometimes don't pay attention to some of our things that we use to help us with our energy work. And I know I am definitely lazy about that. Years ago, here to tell you a story, I've had this pendulum since I started doing any kind of energy work. When I was working with my mentor, her and I went and chose this pendulum. I have since bought many pendulums and I keep giving them away, and I keep using this one. Well, all of a sudden one day I went to go do a reading, and all I heard is I'm tired. And I was like, okay, is that the person that I'm hearing? And it was my pendulum saying, it's tired. So I talked to my mentor and she's like, well, have you been cleansing it? And I was like, no. And what am I supposed to do to cleanse it? Like wash it? And she was like, no, put it in the moonlight on a full moon. And I was like, oh, okay. Sure enough, I did that. Happened to be a full moon like the next day. And of course happened to. And I did, and then it worked again, you know? And so, and with my pendulum, just to clarify, some people do pendulum work and it's like spirit and whatnot. For me, it's my own energy. It's an outward visual, I guess, or a way to move energy. I don't need it. I can do it in my own mind now. At the time when I was learning, I used it. But it does help guide me a little bit in terms of being able to have an outward representation of what I'm feeling inside. So anyway, that said, the things around us that are helping us need to be treated with a certain respect and cleansing. And right now, as I look around my office, you know, Roar's been playing in here, and I have like some chopped up pool noodles in a Ziploc bag, and there's things kind of here. This is my sacred space. I need to cleanse it. I need to make sure that my space is uncluttered and clean. And that's what I'm hearing in terms of dealing with the fatigue and dealing with all the extra energy that we're taking on right now and we're feeling and we're being bombarded with at the moment, especially as people that are empathic. You know, it's really important that you have space, at least space. I'm not talking about neurotically cleaning your house. I'm talking about having space that is cleansed, clear, and uncluttered for you to declutter in, both in your mind, your heart, your body, and your spirit. And yeah, take a moment to cleanse your tools, whatever tools you happen to use. That will help with some of the fatigue. So what I'm hearing, we have been gifted, divinely given tools that help us, that come from nature, things that allow us to align our mind, body, and our spirits. And that is everything from, I'm hearing like plant medicine, crystals, even just going for a walk out in nature, animal therapy. Like there's so many trees. Well, trees are my thing, my therapy. We've been given all these gifts to help us when we feel depleted. And so right now, while many of us are feeling depleted, make sure to take the time to utilize these gifts that we have, as human beings have been given. They have been purposefully planted on this planet for us to be able to use in order to replenish ourselves. And so I'm hearing, use them, take the time, take them, use them is what I'm hearing. Use them. They're there for you. Especially in this time of feeling depleted. And if you are feeling tired right now, if you are feeling depleted, rest and recharge. Allow yourself to recharge. There's work going on right now below the surface that we're not even fully aware of. And I get that. I thought I was just tired, but now that I think about it, just a show of hands, not necessarily, I guess you can't see your hands, but just in the chat, who has been feeling abnormally tired this last day or a couple of days? Because I definitely have been. So, all right. Yeah, Angela, Jem, Miss Larissa, Deb, Stephanie, yes, Donnie, Mercedes, Jamie. There you go. Interesting. You know what? I'm getting shivers, you guys. I'm getting shivers because it's a lot of people that are just like, yes, I am. I'm just getting goosebumps and shivers all over. So right now is a time for us to not only nurture each other, but call in your tools, whatever that is. I'm going to go for a nature walk because that is my recharge, is to go for a nature walk. But yeah, I've got my little rocks that I have near me here, and I'm going to lay them on my windowsill tonight. I think the full moon was last night. Maybe it's today too. But you know what? It is, there is some energy that's heavy right now. And so it's time for us to just take a little, rest and recharge. All right. Anything else? All right. I'm going to switch into the second part. I'm going to